And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, we cover the state of pro wrestling for February and March of 2025. So go ahead and check it out today on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, of course, Magic Man is here. An album cover is he, but he was also spearheading the feisty, to say the least. By the way, Sean, I would never say shut up in reality to you. Just assume it was for Joe. So there you go. Absolutely. Though I meant every shut up, Joe, I meant that I uttered during playback. And probably add 10 more onto that, but that's okay. If you want to know what all the fun is all about during the games, go ahead and join us, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break as well. So, yes, absolutely. Coming up right now, though, it is, of course, our good friends, of course, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, who was at the game. Yo, congratulations, man. You saw a Lakers victory. Go ahead and check out his channel. Also, as well, Empire Jeff covering the Lakers and the Dodgers. Also, as well, of course, our good friends, Alfred Esmond, Stone Hansen, who was on playback, the Legend 350 from I Got Next Sports Media. All those great guys, please go ahead and like and subscribe. But don't forget to like and subscribe with us. We need all the help we can get. I mean, I know Jeremy, who was on the playback saying, oh, yeah, you guys are doing great. No, we are still a small, little teeny guppy in the big fish tank known as YouTube. So we need your help by getting to be a little bit bigger. And we can only do that with liking and subscribing. Get that word out on the Lakers Fast Break. Plus, you can become a member where you get emojis, badges, inside info. You get articles. You get also as well videos that are put on there first and foremost. Go ahead, check it out today. Become a member for just $2.99 a month. All these things help out the channel and help get the Lakers Fast Break where we need to get to. Is that you? I can't help today to make that happen right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers, this was the day. This was the day for the Luka revenge game. And I'm going to start off by noticing an article that was on ESPN.com earlier today. And I know that there was this time last week, some of our fans, Sharon and some others, were also taking a look at Luka on the sidelines and thinking that maybe he was unhappy. Maybe he looked depressed. Maybe he looked discontented. But you know what? In the actually ESPN.com article earlier today, the quote was there. I am happy here. That should be a ringing endorsement to all Lakers fans just how happy Luka is. But there was one thing he needed to do, and that was go Klingon on the Mavs, because revenge is a dish best served cold. And it was served today by Luka with an outstanding game indeed. For him, let's rattle up the numbers. A triple-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists. Austin Reeves chipped in with 20. LeBron James, 27 and 12 rebounds himself. Rui had 15. And the Lakers did just enough to stave off the periodically hot shooting in the fourth, at least early in the fourth quarter. Dallas Mavericks, they got close. They tied the game, but they couldn't get over the hump as the Lakers pulled away in the final 2 minutes of the ball game with a 107-99 victory. The Lakers now are a sparkling 35 and 21 on the season. They are still 10.5 games out. They are still just percentage points ahead of the Houston Rockets, who also won today. But they are just 2 games behind second place in the Western Conference. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game, Luka's performance, and also as well what this means for the Lakers going forward. It's a good man indeed. He is not just an album cover. He is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break and our Lakers postgame. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, good to have you here, my friend. This was a Luka revenge game. A lot of people were pointing for this game, including Nike rolling up that nice, beautiful purple 77 numbered car, looking real good. How could we have let Luka down on a day where he needed it the most to make a point? That Dallas made a mistake in trading him. But
You're
all we can say,
awesome.
thank you, Chunk Kick. Truly appreciate it. But also as well, Sean, we can go ahead and say that today Luka got his revenge.
You're
And
awesome.
we can once again say thank you, Nico, for Luka.
That being said, Drill,
You're awesome.
That's what happens when you rely on the three. Live by the three, die by the three. Up by 16. Sort on cruise control.
You're awesome.
And then you decide to jack up a bunch of unnecessary early in the clock threes. Gerald, we took 43s tonight, and I counted how many were taken in between the 24-second and the 18. Do you want to guess how many?
How many, Sean? You go ahead.
That's okay. 14. 14 wasted possessions where it's 6 seconds are left and you're heaving up a bad shot. I know we got the win, Gerald, and that's the only thing that matters. But all I'm gonna say is this team, the last couple of years, Gerald, our bread and butter has been getting down low and getting to the foul line. Now, tonight, Luka and Austin did their best. They got to the line. We got to the line 24 times, but really, through the course of the game, we got to the line 16 times. 20 times, excuse me, they got their 16. So we need a more reliant, focused group that gets to the line because they're easy point. I don't think they've taken it for granted since Luka's come around because everybody's just got to adjust to him. I mean, he is the star. We got to adjust to the universe has to adjust the star, not the planet. So, but they have to be really more focused on getting easier shots. It's just too reliant on the three right now, and I'm worried that that's going to become a tendency rather than just a fallback because you think you could get any shot you want now with these two in the line. I mean, obviously you can, but for a game like tonight, Gerald, it should not have been this close.
We were up by 15, and we should have put the pedal to the metal. But yes, the Lakers made some errors, but also the referees didn't help. At times they were playing 8-on-5. Let's just put that out there. But again, the Lakers still get the victory, 107-99. And here today to go ahead and also discuss that as well. Good man indeed. He is the mastermind behind not one, but two great channels on YouTube, Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. He had a great convo with some great Lakers content creators, which you can still see on this channel, and also as well, Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. It is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here. It was a game that was made close by some play that I wasn't thrilled with because, again, like Sean said, reliance on the three. A little bit too much. The Lakers, anytime they drove the basket, seemingly had their chance at will to go ahead and continue to do so. They just got away from it and fell over three. It almost cost them, but they were able to go ahead and stretch it out in the end because, again, they started driving the ball to the basket and started making things happen, John.
Look, man, I totally understand that it exerts a lot less energy to shoot a three or shoot a step back three than it does to take it to the rim and have, everybody riding you all the way to the hoop. But man, oh man, like, does LeBron not remember that he's still one of the most dominant forces going downhill? Why, were we settling for so many threes? And I want to give Sean his credit because Sean, that was a great stat, brother. Like, not only did you talk about the 43 pointers, but you also talked about the fact that 14 of them were in the first, 18 seconds to the first 24 seconds. Dog, That is a terrible possession. You are settling for a three when you have LeBron James. He can get downhill essentially on anybody in the league and at will, and he's gonna force either for the person to foul him, or he's gonna finish an and one or finish at the hoop, or if anything, drive so much, right? That then the three-pointer opens up. That's I think part of the game that I think is skipped, right? I think like back in the day, you'd play from the inside out. You dominate inside, you force a defense and have to play you one way, and then you expand your game out as you go, taking what the defense gives you. The Lakers in the league, I mean, I won't even say just the Lakers, they start the other way around. They start from the 3-point line, and then they'll see if if they get inside later in the game. But in my opinion, when you got a player like LeBron that can just get downhill at will, you gotta do that and then come out to the 3-point line as it goes. And I do want to give I Speak the Truth some love here. He's on the Lakers Corner chat here. He said that the Mavs, for a team that was healthy, that wasn't healthy, he's giving them some credit, and he said they're going to be a dangerous team down the line. And I absolutely agree, brother. I agree that they'll be a dangerous team down the line. But tonight they weren't a dangerous team, and we were able to get it done. I'm honestly surprised that Luka didn't go out for at least 30 something. I'm gonna be honest with you, especially the way that he started that game. He had that angry look on his face. He got that early tech, so he's been teed up since before the game even kicked off, man. But overall, look, guys, I mean, we got the win. I already can hear the haters. I already can hear them. You guys beat a Mavericks team that was barely healthy. You guys beat a Mavericks team that was barely healthy. I can already hear them, but I could care less. My biggest thing that I want to harp on for this game is we just have to make sure, moving forward, we can close games, because that Klay Thompson run at the fourth quarter that they had, that kind of had me spooked. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, had me a little spooked, because and then at the end of that third quarter they went on that 12-2 run. So hey, man, let's just work on what we got to work on in this game. But big credit to Luka on a big game. And last two things I'll say, and then I'll let my boy Joe go. Huge credit to Dorian Finney-Smith for the defense that he played in today's game. Like I was talking about it on playback with our boy Stone. He was jumping screens. His activity was everywhere. Whether he was switching, he was jumping to the help side. Loved him. And then also Hayes had a really big fourth quarter, y'all. Provided us some big rim protection and stopped a lot of layups. And if he did not stop it, he did the thing that our boy Anthony Davis used to do all the time. If he doesn't block it, he alters it. And he was doing that, caught some lobs, and helped us go on that 12-5 stretch to close this game out. But hey, man, Lakers win. Just the 43s are a lot.
Also here today, good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy behind the great company that he owns, Symbolaze with the Y.com, and of course the game that you need to get out there for all you PC enthusiasts. If it's the indie fighting game of the year, it's Corrupt, Coreupt on Steam. It is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. Lakers get the victory. I see the haters still hating in the crowd. They just can't get the fact that Luka and the Lakers got the job done today. They just can't deal with it. It hurts them. It pains them. You can feel the anguish every time, Rodell's guy, Christie, goes to the basket, getting it swatted away. Every time Luka wanted to go ahead and just work his magic as far as along the perimeter, get those passes done. This was a trade that needed to be made. It was made. It got the job done. And Luka's here. He said he's happy here, and hopefully he's here to stay, Joe.
I don't think I'm going to address any of the Luka trade stuff anymore. It's a waste of time and energy. Tonight's game was good in the first half. The problem was they weren't making shots.
Mm-hmm.
Luka wasn't shooting well from three. I don't think DFS hit a three. Dalton was 1 of 4. Gabe Vincent couldn't hit a three. you were getting a lot of good ball movement, but they were missing the open shots. And when that tends to happen, you start to compensate. When you start to compensate, you start to lose your rhythm. You start to lose kind of the identity of what you're trying to create on offense. They kept it as good as they could all 48 minutes on defense. So that was kind of the evening out part. But they were terrible at shooting at the beginning, and it just lingered into the second half, and they just couldn't get out of that funk because you start to press when you're not making shots. You're trying to catch up basically, and of course you're trying to play defense as well. It's the game was not as bad as I think it was. It's one of those games where they just couldn't make a shot, but they still D'd up, and that's what you do. You continue to do the fundamentals, the things that you can control, and they did that despite Klay Thompson 4 times a year playing like Klay Thompson in 2015, and then Kyrie was doing his thing, although he wasn't shooting that well either, and then everyone else just kind of, that was it. Dallas has got a lot of guys missing. They did what they could do, but they couldn't make shots either. I'd say looking at LeBron and Luka, what they kind of did there towards the end, once Luka starts hitting his shots, you're not likely going to probably see games like this regularly unless it's, maybe a handful of times throughout an 82-game season. But if Luka could have hit maybe 2 or 3 more shots, those leads that were stuck at 12 for a while would have eventually gotten to 18 and 20, and then momentum starts to kind of carry a little bit, and it kind of demoralizes the opposition. I try really hard not to get on talking about the refs as a plot, but they were absolutely horrendous tonight. Jesus Christ. And forget about the fact that it was against the Lakers. It wasn't so much that, it was the flow of the game that they fucked up. Like, you couldn't get any kind of excitement going. You couldn't get any rhythm going. Every time something good happened, it was some stupid-ass review that didn't make any sense. And then, like that, I saw one replay, and maybe I'm wrong, but that Luka 3 they took away, I didn't see his heel hit the line. It looked like it was hovering. And I've been watching basketball for a while. I have never seen somebody take away a basket like that. At least it's been a while. I don't know. Maybe I didn't remember, but it was terrible. It was an absolutely horrendous. It was like this Charles Barkley analysis when he hasn't done shit all day type of refereeing. And it's fitting. It's fitting considering it was on TNT, even though I watched it on the Sportsnet feed, because much like Michael Jordan, I think I've finally soured from Charles Barkley. I think the inability to really make any kind of coherent observation at this point in his career, because you could tell he mails it in at this point. He's just doing it for money. And I didn't watch a stitch, an inch of, or a second of anything on TNT. A lot of it has to do with the fact that that show has finally gotten stale, at least in my eyes. And it was really never something I watched all the time anyways. They're funny. They've got a good shtick going. I'm not saying they're not good. They're really good. But I prefer more talent behind. Thank you, Sean. Always with the vocabulary that's there to pick me up.
No, I literally meant it. Tim Legler. Like, I would much rather listen to Tim Legler.
Yeah, well, you meant it figuratively and literally. That's pretty good. Legs is definitely one of the greats in terms of that. And that's just me. I like substance, guys. I don't like a bunch of yappers trying to play jokes. Now, we play jokes on, there's a time for joking, but there's also a time where talk about the goddamn game and stop telling me your feelings. And that's what Charles tends to do. Oh, they suck. Oh, they suck. Okay, well, why the hell do they suck, you dumb shit? You didn't even watch the game. How do you know they suck? So the Lakers won the game. It's all that matters in the end. But they've got work to do, guys. They got to make these shots. It wasn't anything Dallas was doing to them that was making them miss. They missed a shitload of open shots in the first half. much like every game in the NBA these days. You make the shots, you win the game comfortably. You don't, you struggle, you lose, or maybe you win a close one. And for those who look at this game and say, well, if Anthony Davis and Gafford and Lively had played, then there would be a different story. Well, yeah, but that changes the entire team at that point. How we don't know how that would have played out. We don't. There's certain skill sets that those guys have that might have bogged them down a little bit more versus what they had here. They had more of an open, free running kind of and gunning type offense that kind of maybe caught the Lakers off guard a little bit, and they didn't do their part, so they had to struggle until the end. But I'm looking at Luka at this point as well. This is the amazing part about this. Luka had a triple-double, and it didn't look like it was a good game on his part. It looked like he could have had a better game. So imagine when he does really, truly have those Luka games for a month or two stretch. It's going to be very fun to watch.
Very fun to watch. And if I could jump in here real quick, Ishan in the chat said, do you guys not get it? Mavs had to cover the +9. And then Gerald, I see you said here in the chat, 8.5. I don't know much. Okay, yeah, I don't know much about.
They never put it on round numbers. They always put it at half points for a reason.
Mhm.
So yeah, but they beat it. They beat the if you'd bet for the Mavs to cover, yes, they beat it by half a point. So.
Yes, and I to tell Ishan all the time, I don't know much about this whole +9 plus this plus that, but I do want to give my boy Ishan some love because he is here and he is the Mavs fan. Danny, if you are watching, Danny, that's the Ishan you were asking about earlier. But I want to touch on another point, somebody else's chat that they put here. And if it was you that said it, go ahead and speak up or chat up, whatever the right thing to say is now. But somebody was saying, to mine and Joe's point, here we go. JY Hen said JJ wants 40 to 41 threes. It's a make or miss league, and Lakers miss tonight, Joe and John and Gerald as well. So that's what you were saying to us. And yes, I agree. It is a make or miss league. But one thing that I can never agree on, and I still don't agree with, is that not every team has the same type of roster construction. Not every team has the same type of style. Not every team is built the same way. So not every team is built to take 40 to 41 threes per game. You look a perfect example, the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, they're built to take 40 to 41 threes per game because they have at all times 5 3-point shooters that are legit threats that can legit, get hot out there. Tonight, we saw Vando go 2 or 3 from the 3-point line, but I'm guaranteed if I asked every single person that's on this panel right here, would you trust Vando hitting a corner shot, getting kicked out with your house on the line or with your life on the line? And I guarantee almost every person in this panel would tell you no. So we don't have a team that is built to get 40 to 41 threes per game. So while, yes, I agree, it is a make or miss league. We know that all the time. This is a real copycat league. But my problem is that, you can only copycat to a certain extent because every team is built so differently. So that's just one point I wanted to hit on that. But yeah, no, I just wanted to jump in there real quick and throw that out there. Don't know if you guys have anything to say about that.
Well, again, the Lakers have many opportunities to take the ball inside, and later in the game, they finally chose to go ahead and stress taking the ball to the basket, and it worked out better for him. They got fouled, but they also got a lot of layups and inside a lot of easy lobs as well. Sean, bring it back to you. You wanted to show us something? Go ahead, Sean.
Yes, Gerald. This is a up-to-date statistic on teams who take the most threes in the NBA, and the Lakers qualify as the 2015. Lakers take only more threes than the Pacers, the Knicks, the Clippers, the Raptors, and the Nuggets, and they average less than 35 a game. So this idea, and you can take it off now, Gerald, this idea that somehow JJ Redick stresses taking 40 to 44 3-point shots a game is baloney. It's baloney. Now, maybe with Luka now on the team, you're emphasized more to take more threes, but that's because you're getting better looks. You shouldn't take more threes to take more threes. You should take threes because it's a really good look. That's the whole point of putting the ball in the hole. Is I'm willing to give up a good shot for a better shot. Give you an example. Tonight, Luka had a straight line to the basket, Gerald. What did he do? I'm just going to throw behind my back to Austin Reeves, who's wide open for a three. He turned down a 99% shot for a 40% shot, but it went in. So I'm going to leave it to Mozart to take care of the math out there. But that being said, don't just say that to us that somehow, oh, well, JJ preaches taking 40 to 45 3-point shots. He doesn't, because if he did, the Lakers would be top 5, top 7 in 3-point attempts in the league, but we're not right now. And in this summertime, that will get addressed too. But just because you have Luka, it doesn't mean that somehow these guys are magically going to turn into great 3-point shooters. They are who they are. Luka and LeBron now can help you get better looks, but you still got to knock them down. Now, like John said, would I bet my house on Jared Vanderbilt shooting 40% and wide open threes this year? No. That's not a good bet. That being said, he made 2 tonight. So even a great offensive repertoire doesn't necessarily make up for flawed preparation and fundamentals. We are a team that is very good at getting easy shots at the bucket and getting to the line. If we can add in a flex of threes here and there with Luka, that's great. But this team is designed to go to the hole, not to shoot threes.
Joe, let me bring it back to you. And once again, the Lakers do win 107-99. They're now 35-21 on the season. They're still percentage points ahead of Houston. Both them and Memphis Grizzlies won tonight, so they didn't gain any ground in the West Conference, but they are still only 2 games out of second in the Western Conference. I wanted to ask you this. Stone is not here tonight. He was part of our coverage on playback.tv, but he really, really broke down the vision that Luka Doncic has and the fact, yes, part of that amazing triple-double he had today was, of course, the 12 assists, but the fact that he's just seeing everything that's out there on the floor and having him and LeBron with both those guys that can find individuals, it could be the tightest of spaces, and they're still trying to go ahead and squeeze that in there. Absolutely just amazing. And of course, Stone was fixated on the way that how Luka was being able to observe the floor. We're getting a firsthand look exactly how good Luka is as a distributor, Joe.
If you need proof, all you have to do is see how Jackson Hayes' game has increased in quality, especially in this game. You saw a 2-3 minute run there where he was getting separation and getting baskets and dunks and getting key rebounds. I have not seen Jackson Hayes that engaged in getting rebounds and getting the timing of the rebounds ever. Tonight was, to me, probably the best game I've seen Jackson Hayes play from a fundamental standpoint. I know the Lakers need more. We all know this. It'd be nice to see him be in what I believe is the best position for him, which would be if Luka and LeBron are going to be playing like this with him, he would be the perfect backup center. Lakers get a starting center, and his skill set would go even higher at that point, especially with certain matchups. That right there is a good sign for what's to come. That guys like Luka, guys like LeBron are going to. We know the tagline, they make everybody better, but it's one thing to make skilled guys really, really good. It's another when there's guys out there that struggle fundamentally and processing wise, and all of a sudden you start seeing them process better and fundamentally get better. That's been I try to really look at those type of things tonight. And I did that because I've seen enough basketball in my life knowing what was likely happening right around the mid-second quarter area. I was like, these guys are not hitting the shots tonight. And the flow of the game sucked. Two reasons why. One, because they couldn't hit the open shot. The other, because of those dumb fuck refs who kept breaking up the rhythm of the game. This was supposed to be a prime time type game on a Tuesday. And instead, we got the goddamn ref show on a Tuesday night. And this is the kind of stuff. This right here is why Adam Silver needs to figure out a way to get his head out of his fucking ass and fix this problem. This has to stop. Like, forget about the 3-point stuff and all that. I can go into 100 different reasons why the NBA has turned into what it's turned into with that. The most important part that needs to be cleaned up here is the fucking refs and your stupid ass review process. Learn something from baseball. The one fucking league that it's taken 50,000 years to actually do something the last few years. They're getting that shit right out of the gate. You still are. We're still watching games. What time did the game stop tonight? Like 2 hours and 50 minutes? 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? This game should have ended 20 minutes earlier. But because you guys have Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and Tweedledip shit, you don't know how. What's going on? Like, you guys have all this technology. Make a decision. What does Lonzo say in training? Make a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision. Use the technology. Do it. I want to enjoy the game. If it's a 3-point shooting game, it can still be enjoyable, miss or make, because it's still basketball to a degree. But what kills this game is your stupid ass league rules. Fix this. It's usually worse, actually. A lot of times it's just got highlighted in this game because everybody wasn't shooting well. But like at the end of games, because they got to review shit, they don't want to get it wrong. The momentum of the end of the game gets even worse as well. Luckily, the Luka and LeBron turned the game up a little bit there with the last 3 minutes. They were able to close the game out. But that's kind of really my gripe tonight. Is we didn't get a chance to see some flow in this and enjoy maybe a defensive game too. That's okay, guys. You can watch a 95-90 game and enjoy it. There was an entire decade that was like that. We can enjoy a defensive game. But what kills it is when you have numbskulls trying to dictate what's what. I don't know. Anyways, it just wasn't a good shooting night for the Lakers. I wasn't anticipating the shooting being this bad. If I had known that they were going to shoot this bad, then I probably wouldn't have been as comfortable going into the game, because I was pretty confident that the Lakers were going to win by 15, 16 points. And they would have, had they just hit a few of their open shots. I think it'll help when Luka starts hitting those shots. When Luka starts hitting those shots, everything else will start coming together a little bit more. LeBron, another game with LeBron. I'm getting to the point with LeBron where I just don't know the superlatives. Is that how you say it? I don't even know.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Yeah, the superlatives.
Superlative.
Plural. See, that's my English as a second language sneaking up on me.
Superlative.
Superlative. Thank you, Sean.
What does that mean?
Good joke. It means just extended
Compliments.
vocabulary.
It's getting to the point where
Giving him his flowers.
it's getting to the point with LeBron where I think we need to find out more about what this guy, what the science of his physique is. There's plenty of guys that have trained. They train and they're prepared and all that, but there is something physiological here that's an anomaly beyond an anomaly. There is no reason for even at this time. This is a time where people are walking in the street and turning an ankle and they're out for 6 months. And this guy has not been playing in the NBA for 22 years, folks. He's been playing in the NBA for 26 years if you factor in his playoff games.
Has at least sprained his ankle over 250 times.
I've-
Guaranteed.
I don't know what it must be made of rubber, because I don't understand how this is happening. I really don't.
His first 15 years when he sprained his ankle, Gerald, we all saw it. He would get up, bring the tongue up, retie, and then go back. Meanwhile, he's probably in throbbing pain. And it was only until about 2018 when he fell down and he started really feeling that neuropathic pain there. The man's a freak. It's just a freak.
And this is not, I thought for a minute there, I thought, the Tom Brady career was more because it's football. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, no, quarterbacks in the NFL are protected. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they don't even get touched in a game, especially Tom Brady, because he's so good, right? LeBron is running and jumping and guarding and passing and stealing and blocking. Like, he's still playing with what Stu always said, this is a young man's game. That alley-oop he caught from Luka, that cannot happen. That can't happen like that. That's just so.
But
LeBron
Joe,
James,
the haters will come back.
I don't give a shit about hate. Fuck the hate. I don't give a fuck about the hate. Fuck the haters. Fuck all these people. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about LeBron James now and the Lakers. This guy is rewriting this thing. He really is. And now, should they muster another? I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I feel very confident that they're going to put something together here this summer, and they're going to go after it in 2026. Should this team win a title, whether it's this year or next year, LeBron James needs to the BS around LeBron James. I'm on board at this point where you have to stop. You have to just stop. You can't say anything anymore. I said the same thing after MJ beat Utah in Game 6. I remember it because I was a Laker fan. I was always trying to keep him from getting 6 because I was such a huge Magic fan. When he won Game 6, the way he won it too against Utah and winning his 6th title, I was like, that's it. Michael's the best. And LeBron right now, whether he's better than Michael or not, whether you want to believe it or not, I'm not even talking about that. Forget about all that. I'm just talking about LeBron James. It's time to focus on LeBron James. What he has done in a career, especially if he can muster one more title, it will be by far the most accomplished career in NBA history. And it's probably not even close, even though Kareem had an amazing career as well.
Sean, I'm going to bring it to you in a sec, John. But Sean, I mentioned yesterday that I thought everybody was going, 30, 40, 50 for Luka. And I thought he's going to be so amped up, Sean. I'm just not sure that you're going to see the kind of efficiency that you wanted to see from him, that everybody wanted to see from him. And early on, you could see how much he wanted to single-handedly destroy the Mavs. Realized it was probably not going to be his day as far as shooting-wise, but he found, as you saw, by blocking Max Christie's shot, by rebounding time and time again, and getting the triple-double, by finding his teammates, that he finds just exactly the reason why we get him. Because in case he's not shooting well, he finds other ways to help his team win, Sean. And I think we saw that today. Again, just the reason why we traded for him in the first place, Sean.
100%. 100%. And people like Lloyd in the chat know that too. Welcome back, Lloyd.
Yeah. Where were you at Denver after Denver game?
Yeah, we didn't see you there, Lloyd. Where were you?
Kind of disappeared. Yeah. We missed you. We even called you out. We were friendly and called you out. Where's Lloyd? Oh, where's Lloyd? Wasn't there? Oh, yeah, there you go. At least Nick T showed up. I'm going to give Nick T credit because he 100%. Showed up.
Nick T gets a shout out tonight.
Yes.
Gerald, you called it. You said Luka might have the yips before the Mavs game, just getting a little too amped up. One take a bite out of your old employer. I get it, but you called it, Gerald. You said he'd be maybe a little too energized, and he would need to settle down a little bit. And he did. And it was a triple-double. And congratulations to Luka. Got his first triple-double as a Laker. So overall, Gerald, I thought after the first quarter, he kind of settled down. It was a well-rounded game. I have to say, for all those out there, again, 3 steals, 2 blocks tonight. So, I mean, if you're talking about a 6'7", thick guy who's just going to be out there like a wallflower, he's not. He's very capable of playing defense. You're just asking in all. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're going to have to get used to saying this. So, sometimes you can be too hard on an all-NBA player. Like, when you're an all-NBA player, I can't really criticize that much, Gerald. You're one of the 5 best basketball players in the world. You're considered one of the best. And while he might not make the first all-NBA team this year, for me, he's still penciled in there. If he was healthy, he'd still be a first NBA all-NBA selection. That being said, got a little nervous tonight, Gerald. Got it out of the way, and you know what? We move forward. I'm sure he'd be the first one to say, "I'm happy about the win. I could care less about getting 50."
John, let me bring it back to you. And once again, the Lakers do win 107-99. They're 35-21 percentage points ahead of Houston Rockets for 4th place in the Western Conference. Just want to bring it back to you, my friend. Again, the defense holding another team to under 100 points. We've talked about how since January 14th, the Lakers have been number 1 in the NBA in defense. And since AD was only a set part of 7 of those games, since then, they've been number 2 in defense without AD. They are playing collectively as a unit. You've even seen LeBron realize that he needs to put more effort on that side of the ball, and you got that tonight. Luka, you're seeing him putting his hands all over. You're seeing him actually getting blocks, steals, etc. You're seeing a collective effort from guys who normally are playing defense at any level whatsoever, except for Connect, because Connect was still Connect is still Connect. But be that as it may, this team, for the most part, is playing a collective defense that has been outstanding. And I know that a lot of people have been giving JJ praise for doing that. For most of the season, JJ has not found a way to find good defense with this team. But since January 14th, he certainly has, John.
He certainly has. And you know what he's doing, man? He's taking advantage of the oldest trick in basketball. Look, man, it doesn't matter if you're faster than me. It doesn't matter if you're stronger than me. If I'm at that spot before you get to that spot, there's just nothing much you can do because I'm already there, man. And I think that that's the philosophy that JJ Redick is taking advantage of, because right now, if you look at our roster, I mean, I can confidently say we don't have too many good on-ball defenders besides Dorian Finney-Smith, besides Jared Vanderbilt, and maybe Gabe Vincent on certain nights, depending what kind of Gabe Vincent you're getting. The rest of the rest of our players are more of Hayes is more of rim protecting. LeBron decides when he wants to turn it on, decide when he wants to turn it off. Luka, I don't think that Luka Doncic is an elite primary on-ball defender, and same thing with Austin Reeves. But if I'm at the spot that you want to get to, or if I'm covering that zone that you are trying to get to before you're there, there's nothing much you can do about it. There's nothing much you could say, man. So I say that to say, hey, man, I think this is a real team defense. The Lakers are honestly really well coached. This looks like a very well coached team that has bought into the defensive philosophy, has bought into the system, and that's why the numbers say that. And I mean, very small sample size, but I mean, this game, Luka 3 steals. Last game, Luka 4 steals. I think the game before might have had 1 or 2 as well. So it's like these things are things that we didn't necessarily see in Dallas too much. But hey man, we're getting it done on the defensive end. One of the last things I thought we would do when we got rid of our defensive anchor in Anthony Davis. But you know what else I didn't think would happen? Didn't think we'd get Luka. So clearly things that I don't think happen are happening.
Xbox, I'll just tell you this on Connect. I don't want to spend too much time on it. As we've talked about before on this show, he is a rhythm player, and he needs sustainable minutes in order to get that rhythm. And unfortunately, his defense precludes him from being able to get said minutes. He is just absolutely terrible on defense. You saw him tonight. He gave up not one, but two 3-pointers right in a row to Klay Thompson. And that pretty much gets you benched right there and then. JJ yanked him right there and then. And if that's the case, that's going to continue going forward. Teams are going to go at him. He's got to play at least. I'm asking for below average. I'm not even asking for average defense from him. It's not even below average. It's like a step below, like one of the worst in the NBA right now. He is soft, and he needs to play better with more veracity, more anger, more something on the defensive end of the ball, because he's athletic and he can do these things. You could see that he has the ability to do more on that end of the court, and he doesn't. And as long as he stays one step out of, or at least out of step period, he is not going to get sustainable or earn sustainable minutes in the league, much less on the Lakers, because he is a rhythm player. You see what happens with Thompson when he gets in a rhythm. You see that, and he's just like that. But the problem is Thompson played defense well for so long. He's got that rep in the league, and unfortunately, Dalton doesn't. Sean?
Yeah, I agree 100%, Gerald. And you could make an argument that the best rhythm shooter in NBA history is Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
You could
But
say
how does he get that? He
right.
gets sustainable minutes.
He does. He does. Absolutely. Now, Gerald just was eloquent there. That was a great analogy. I'm all on the Connect train too. He's a Laker, so we're going to root for him, and I like the kid. And
I do too.
Gerald is right. He plays soft SOFT defense. It's really bad, and he needs to be. Gerald, I'm not sure if it's just a confidence issue, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed. I don't know what it is, but he could play heavier. He really could. He's 6'5". He's thick.
What Jay said, he's slower footed. Jay said he's slower footed, but I'm like, on the fast break, getting those dunks, does he really look slow footed there, Sean?
He doesn't. No, not offensively.
Yeah.
So what's the big difference if he's backpedaling? You could still be an adequate defender, not being able to backpedal hard. A lot of guys have done that over the years.
Maybe he wasn't asked for that all the.
Yeah, Sean Marion wasn't swift of feet either, Gerald. But somehow, some way, Sean Marion managed to put himself in the position to be a pretty darn good defender. And Dalton Connect has all the tools needed to do this. He really does. There are a lot of guys his size who are good defenders. Mitch Richmond had a couple inches on him. Dalton Connect has a couple inches on Joe Dumars. He's around the same size as Bobby Phills. Like, Dalton Connect is built like a football player. He just doesn't play like one defensively out there. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's him not unleashing the beast. I don't think we could call it the rookie yips anymore, Gerald. We're almost 55 games here into an NBA season. He's been in the league for a good solid 4 months. He knows the physicality and what it takes to play, and it's just not clicking right now. And I'm with you. I'm still behind him, but I'm also a little disappointed that for someone as touted as he was with his IQ, that he's not catching up.
Again, for me, maybe he just during his 4 or 5 years in college, Magic Man, maybe just defense was never something that was stressed to him, and he's learning that in the NBA, you got to have at least some level of competence in that area, or else you're not going to get PT. We've seen a lot of those shooters like Bertrand's, what's the guy, Landry Shamet. Those guys were hot. They're 40% shooters from three. Oh, that's great. Problem is they are absolutely terrible on the defensive end. They got their big contracts when they were making all those threes, but everybody realized that they couldn't play D. So year after year, they got less time and less time and less time. Where's Bertrand's right now? And Landry Shamet, where's he at right now? On the back end of New York Knicks roster. And then that's what happens. Again, if you can't D at least somewhat efficiently, then you're not going to stay out there on the floor. Joe, the standard Robert Wheeler question of the day. Joe, Sean, Gerald, Joe, who would you rather the Lakers avoid until the conference finals, OKC or Denver? And do you think Vando taking only three threes per game is too high, too low, or just right? He is a career 28% shooter, Robert. So being that I'm going to apply the same logic I did with AD, and I was ultimately right on that because he got traded away shooting 29.8% from three. The answer is he got lucky today. The odds say you shouldn't have him shoot at all from behind the arc, Joe.
Yeah, I'm not. One is enough. I wouldn't rely on him making that shot unless he went Brooke Lopez mode, shooting 500 to 1,000 a day, making sure that he's equipped to do that now later in his career. That would help tremendously, but I don't know necessarily if that's possible. Who to avoid? I think it might be too early for me to see who would likely to avoid. My instincts now, based off of the last Denver game, would be let's try to avoid OKC. They have the horses, they have the youth, they're defensively prowessed. I know that's not a word, but they're very, very good at what they do. They are young, though. There's a chance, but I remember in 2012, that Oklahoma City team was young too, and they ended up beating the Lakers in that series due to the fact that just Kobe and Pau couldn't finish games. As of right now, I would rather play Denver than OKC because I do think that Luka has something again with that team. I think now the psychology is reversed. Now Denver's going to start thinking about the Lakers versus the Lakers thinking about Denver. And it just looks like Denver, as good as they've played, and that's probably a lot to do with Jokic playing better basketball than ever, which is crazy to say. I haven't been very impressed with how Jamal Murray has been playing this year. I think he's been off. I don't know if there's an injury that might be keeping holding them back. I don't know if it's lack of focus. I don't know. Michael Porter Jr. has always been kind of like an off and on type, although when he played the Lakers, he always played well, at least the last few years. And then you have Aaron Gordon and those guys, and not a lot of depth on top of that. So, yeah, Denver would be – you always would rather play a team that doesn't play well on defense, and Denver is that. And if you can neutralize Jokic to a degree, you probably have a good shot at keeping the game competitive. The difference between now and before is you have a closer in Luka versus not having a closer like they have had several games against them when they've had some substantial leads. But there's too much to see here, guys. I can't really assess this team yet all the way. Even the craziness of the post Denver game, the analysts just creaming over themselves about how this team's going to go to the finals. It's such these are grown ass adults doing a grown adult business, and they act like a bunch of YouTube and podcasters. It's kind of embarrassing. Dude, it's one game. Yes, it was enjoyable. Yes, it was nice to beat Denver the way they beat them, but can you slow your roll a little bit? Can we stop with the Lakers are going to go win a championship now because of one game in Denver?
Yeah, I've had enough of the hyperbole too, Joe.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And I just kept deleting because once you get into that algorithm with some of those shows, you that's all that pops up on the YouTube. But I avoided it. I'm tired of this nonsense. This what have you done for me literally a minute ago mindset from grown ass adults. This is supposed to be children that think that way, not grown adults. Let this thing marinate a little bit, please. Let it grow. Let it do its thing. And we'll see in the end what happens. It's still the NBA. It's still an 82-game season. The Lakers lost to freaking Charlotte. And then they whooped the shit out of Denver in Denver. That's the NBA right there in a nutshell. And what happened last night? Oklahoma City was up 22 points at home. And they lost. So let Luka get things going. LeBron, I'd say LeBron might be the guy that's just, and I think it's all mental. There's no other way to put this because he's got it physically. Oh, it just seems to have it there. But my God, mentally, since Luka has become a Laker, LeBron has been on a tear. And I'm talking about even before Luka stepped on the court. Those few games before Luka came, he was off the charts energy-wise, defense-wise. There was a play in the fourth quarter where he was just on everything. He looked like 2014. There you go. There's fucking Gerald with his goddamn standings.
Shut up, Joe, because it was said in the chat. If you read the chat for a second, Sharon
How am I going to read the chat when I'm talking?
You can't see anything when you're talking. You're full of hot air.
We already know what this is. We already talked about it.
I'm trying to help out somebody in the chat.
Help me out.
Joe,
Anyways.
you don't need any help.
Anyways. So LeBron has been playing 2013 defense this last few weeks.
You know what it is, Joe? It's like when you're in like the third grade and your friend's been missing from school and you find out your friend's coming back to school on Monday and you get that news on like a Thursday. You're like a wild child for the next 2 days. That's what LeBron has been like.
There's a video of him pointing at Luka on an N1, and he goes, "This is what we're gonna do." There's something about that, and I've seen a meaner LeBron. I have not seen a LeBron like this in terms of his intensity since Game 6 of 2012 when they were down 3-2 against the Celtics, and he turned it on. And I just want to say, I know he's never going to hear this, but LeBron, this is who we want. We want this LeBron. If this LeBron is still going to be doing what he's doing physically, well, we want this mental LeBron. Hey, man, you can be here for another 5 years if that's what it's going to be. And there's no way to look at it other than Luka's put that juice in him. It's pretty obvious that whatever jolt he got from that trade, it's got him looking like I'm ready to mess some things up here on anyone that gets in our way.
Okay. Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers winning 107-99. They are in fourth place. It has been verified.
What's next? The Hello Kitty picture while I'm freaking drinking?
I'll do it if I want to. It's my damn channel. All right. Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers winning 107-99. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell, grouchy Joe Sorrell, along with Magic Man Sean Grice. Thanks again for joining us. I did verify that on ESPN.com and NBA.com, they are in fourth place in the Western Conference, 35-21. Sean, again, great performance as far as from a distributing and rebounding. That's the underrated thing about Luka. We forget sometimes just how good a rebounder he is, where he gets in position. 15 rebounds tonight. Looked like for a little while he was going to get 20-20. But I tell you what, every one of those rebounds is needed because of our lack of size up front, Magic Man.
100%, Gerald. And I really do believe that if he wasn't tasked so much with scoring, facilitating, he could probably average, well over a dozen rebounds a game if he really wanted to. But there's an emphasis on what he does. If his shot isn't falling, this is a great example of what he can do, right? He can control the boards. He can really do a good job. And we saw that Jackson Hage boxed out like I haven't seen him box out in a long time, Gerald, these past 3 or 4 games. And it's what we've been talking about. It's a team emphasis. It shouldn't be. I believe it's only 1 game since Luka's been acquired where the Lakers were out rebounded. Now I'm not saying he has everything to do with it, but obviously, what you lost in AD, I think we're a -4 or 5 for rebounding numbers if the difference between AD and Luka. But I mean, it's marginal. And like you said, Gerald, tonight was a good example of him boxing out, understanding his role as a defender. And, again, those rebounds, especially in a tight game like this, matter. So it's not
14 offensive rebounds, though. 14 offensive rebounds by Dallas. That's something that the Lakers hopefully will try to correct, but that's been a problem for us all season, Sean.
Yeah, it's been a problem all year, Gerald. And in the deeper we go in the playoffs, it could be a bigger issue if we haven't cleaned it up. But yeah, that needs to get. I'm not sure how exactly. I'm not sure how, but if JJ can scheme us into not giving up a lot of offensive boards, that would help, because between him and Darvin Ham, I think they've tried everything they can with the personnel they have.
So with that, Joe, it is again the Lakers, 35-21. We didn't get any help tonight from our adversaries right now, Memphis and also as well Houston. But again, they're within 2 games of second place in the Western Conference. Your thoughts on if the Lakers can gain that momentum? They still have a lot of tough games coming up, but the Lakers are within reach of second place in the Western Conference, Joe.
LA Clipper games, although there's going to be a day break in between those, and then you got New Orleans and New York to finish off the current home stand. I'm going to say if they can finish 4-1 in the next 5 games, they're in pretty darn good shape, because their last really kind of, I would say, intensive road their last road gauntlet is coming up between March 8th and March 14th. They're going to play Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Denver. That will be a very competitive week for the Lakers.
Absolutely.
It's we need Luka to maybe get back to kind of Luka in terms of his shooting. His shooting has not been where it needs to be since he's played for the Lakers. That's the last thing that really needs to happen for the Lakers to really kind of extend themselves away from the competition. If
Hey, Sean, that's for Joe.
Hi, Tiana. Nice to have you watching the show.
Don't distract from the fact that we got you, you jerk.
You didn't get shit. I created it. You guys just picked it off the internet. Just know I am the originator. I am the creator. I am the alpha.
You are the Hello Kitty. Yes.
You got that right. Damn right. I say what it is, and you guys bring it. That's how it works. So
the world's smallest violin playing just for you, and you can stick it up your ass.
Yeah.
I don't go that far, Joe.
Yeah, it was nice. I didn't get a chance to hear the Nico chant. I was too busy listening to these numbskulls. The Luka step back needs to get to LA at some point here, especially when the schedule gets a little bit tighter.
It in Denver. Don't leave it in Denver.
His playmaking ability, his rebounding is there. His ability to get the ball to the right guy when he's supposed to be open, all is there. Luka just needs to start hitting those shots. If he starts hitting those shots, this game becomes even crazier. And when he starts making those shots, you're also going to get a much more fresh LeBron James. If the Lakers were hitting their shots tonight, LeBron would not have played 37 minutes tonight. He would have probably played 32 or 31 minutes. That's something that has to happen the rest of the way here until you get to the playoffs, because you want a fresh LeBron James coming and going into the playoffs. And if you get one of them 4 seeds, which I think they will, at least one of them, they're gonna have a chance to finally start a playoff. My brain doesn't register this. I cannot believe that the last time they hosted a first round at home was in 2012. That is crazy. That is a crazy stat.
Natalia, he does that all the time after every game. He runs right to the locker room. He probably glad-handed AD close to the locker room. We don't know what went on after the game, but if he's not doing the post-game interview, he just runs straight to the locker room every night. Where do you think that's not bad sportsmanship or whatnot? Joe, Sean, he's been doing this for a while. He's been doing this. He goes, if he's not doing the post-game interview, he's usually not there to glad hand after the game. Everybody went around Luka on the Dallas Mavericks. He wanted Luka to have his moment. Maybe that's why. But again, I understand with AD, and I'll bring it back to you, Joe, for real quick, for Sean. Joe, again, they did honor AD. They did not forget his contributions to the team, nor should we as Lakers fans, about everything that he brought to our team over the course of his years that he was here. But again, if people are looking for an on-camera love fest between LeBron and AD, they didn't get it. But I'm assuming that behind the scenes in the locker room, I'm assuming that LeBron reached out to AD at some point. I'm going to say that he did, but again, we don't know that for sure. Your thoughts, Joe, on the way the Lakers honored AD tonight, and also as well LeBron leaving said floor like he usually does after the game.
I'm going to answer. Is it Ryanell? Ryanell's question. He says, "Do you think we can get Turner or Kessler?" Turner
will be a free agent.
I don't know. The Lakers are not going to have a lot of money to spend with their MLE. They're going to have to trade assets and draft picks for that player. And Turner's going to be a free agent. I don't know. I don't think Indiana's going to do any kind of sign and trade with us. I guess they could. But
what do you think he's going to ask for? 30? Do you think?
I would say at least 20 to 30. And then Kessler, I don't know. Kessler would be ideal with this team, but I don't think Danny Ainge is going to make a deal unless there's somehow a 3-way deal where Danny gets 15 first-round picks from somewhere other than the Lakers, and they get Kessler to LA in that respect. I don't see it happening. But I do believe they are going to find somebody. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and look at what might happen, what scenarios would work, because I'm just focused on what's going on right now. Plus, we don't really know. We know that Naz Reid had just said he's going to opt out. So we got to find out how, as those things go, we'll know who's available and why that's important, because we're not going to get Naz Reid either. He's going to get paid too much money. But we're going to know, because the market will be set with guys like that, who's going to be available, who'd be willing to take less money, blah, blah, blah. That will factor into what the likelihood of that particular player will be coming to LA, whether it's somehow by sheer luck coming as a free agent or needing to use the assets to acquire him. The what was your question? I'm sorry, Gerald.
Him leaving the sideline, him going.
Oh no, so Gerald, much like the discussions we've had here the last few weeks about the decision with LeBron, I think it might have just clicked at this point, and it's always clicked with that part of LeBron's history. I am tired of this stupid shit. Oh my God, he looked to the left, and there was a flag that was hanging there. What does that mean? Like, dude, do you people just go away, please? Stop. He ran to the locker room. Oh my God. Call the freaking National Guard. What do you want him to do? You want him to do cartwheels in the middle of the fucking court? Like, what is the deal with people like dissecting every little thing and thinking, oh my God, what does that mean? This is the shit. This is why famous people, rich people stay away from numbskulls. Because this is the shit that happens. It doesn't mean anything. He ran to the locker room. Who gives a shit? Oh, he ran there with 4 seconds left on the clock. Maybe he had to take a shit. Who knows? Like, what difference does it make?
There's a really good chance he needed to take a shit. There's a really good chance.
Seriously, it's like, I know where this comes from. And much like most of the things out there, there's so much shit, pardon the pun, out there that's just there to fuck you up. Like those bots at every post that you see on Instagram and Facebook. You ever notice the first comment is always some asinine response to the subject? That's a bot, guys. You're getting played. You're getting played. They're there to piss you off. You got to stop getting tricked with that shit, okay? It's the same thing with this stuff. Because when you're a talentless piece of shit, it doesn't matter if it's a mainstream sports channel or some podcaster or some YouTuber, influencer, whatever the fuck that means. These guys cannot get people to watch their trash without those hot points. That's why. Learn the scam, guys. I guarantee you, once you learn the scam, you're going to live a much easier life. Now, you can live a much easier life, too. This is just me, being honest. By just being a freaking venomous snake towards it, too. I know a lot of people don't have that kind of personality, but people stay away from you when they find out that they're fucking with you and that you're going to come back out. It's got to be kind of good. You can't be crying in the corner either. You react to it, but don't be one of those bitches that's crying in the corner. No, you got to come out with some like good backup, good conversation behind it. Then people stay away from you. It's just like popping the bully. You pop the bully. That's what that is. I popped a bully in 8th grade. I didn't even call him a bully. He was just making fun of me for a couple weeks, made fun of a family member of mine, and then I popped him in the face in the classroom. I never got bothered again. Simple as that. That's all that is, except you're doing it in a virtual world. So that's it, guys. Again, I'm done with this LeBron innuendo horse shit. Like, what else? How long are we going to keep doing this? Can we just focus on the game? My issue with LeBron in the past, 99% of the time, had nothing to do with his game. The 1% was, why isn't he taking the last shot? And he even kind of stopped doing that a little bit. He start getting a little more aggressive. 99% of the stuff that could stand about LeBron was his distraction. He would say things about things that he had no information on, and it would piss me off, and it would affect the team. Other than that, he hasn't really been doing that. So it's like, what? Get over it. It's done. I've said this again. I'm going to say it again. You have family members and friends that piss you off. Who the hell is LeBron James not to piss me off? Kobe's pissed me off. Gasol's pissed me off. You guys, if you watch that Denver series, you remember when Phil Jackson punched Pau in the chest? Folks, grow up. There's things we don't like, and there's things we like about people in our own lives. Who's to say we can't do that to athletes that are playing for our favorite team? Like, you gotta kind of understand the difference.
They're calling you Joe Sanrio now.
I don't know who that is.
That's the company that owns Hello Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Sanrio.
Yeah, you missed it. You missed it. Yeah, Joe was mad that I interrupted him with showing the standings to help someone out in the chat.
Joe.
So he used every phrase in the book and shouted out Hello Kitty. So I made a Hello Kitty right on the spot.
Who works better with Luka, Duncan or LeBron? Oof.
Sean, I got a good one for you.
Luka, Duncan, or LeBron? That's a tough one.
Ooh.
But hold on. Joe, I'll let you answer that. But
No. Hold on. I have an answer. LeBron in 2012? LeBron. If it's Duncan in 03, still LeBron. But it's like as Junior Soprano would say, it's by a C-U-N-T hair. Sean, you know what I'm talking about. It's
Sean, let me bring it to you.
I don't say the word with the ladies here. You know, Sean. F words and all that, but that one's a little bit more stingy.
I found out a few months ago when I used it freely.
Okay.
That word. Not good.
Gerald's sitting there with his hand in his lap going, huh?
I think I better make another Hello Kitty Ty Joe cartoon there. Once again, it is, of course, Joe Soro, Sean Grice, and, of course, John Costa, me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. 107-99, the Lakers win. Sean, during our playback, we got some comments from some trolls. In fact, we have one here now. Water is wet. Beating his chest now that the Warriors have Jimmy Butler. Everything is great because they've won 5 of 6, Magic Man. We've got water is wet saying they'll sweep everybody in the Western Conference on the way to a championship. We had trolls now in our playback, touting the wonders of Golden State Warriors, who are currently 8th in the Western Conference. So I just wanted you to go ahead and elaborate on that. Again, compliments to them, but I wish the Warriors fans would not start to all of a sudden beat their chest like they've just won the championship because they got a 35-year-old player who's starting to play well and has meshed very well. Legend 350 is a Warriors fan, but he comes in here and he is nothing but class in our chat and on this show. He is absolutely the perfect way to be a Warriors fan or a non-Lakers fan, and that's the way you need to get it done in the show. These other idiots who sit there and beat their chest and say this gibberish about them sweeping the entire playoffs, it's absolutely asinine. But again, it's all of a sudden they've had an entire season to just be so upset about where they're at. But now that they got Jimmy, everything's all good, Sean.
Oh yeah, all good, Gerald. And by the way, did Legend grow up in Oakland or the
no? Because he's also he lives in the Georgia area, I think. But because he's also an Atlantic Hawks fan. But
okay,
just absolutely a class guy. Please support him
100%.
On his channel. I got Next Sports Media. Big shout out to him.
Yeah, Gerald, I'm just gonna bring up a couple questions for Water is Wet. Do you still have Draymond Green on the Warriors, Gerald? Yes, you do, right? You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You still have Kevin Looney on the Warriors, Gerald?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you still have Brandon Podziemski on the Warriors, Gerald?
He's been playing well as of late, but yes.
You're not sweeping anybody when the playoffs come around. Because everything
I don't trust his shot. Podziemski, I don't trust his shot yet.
I don't trust his shot. Yep.
He's got a nice all-around game. I'll give him that.
And by the way, Gerald, this is pretty
better
much
than JHS.
This is atypical of a team that usually acquires Jimmy Butler because usually it's like an avalanche. You need to pick up steam with him as you're heading into the playoffs. If your Water is wet, or in other words, Finn, do you really want to brag about playing your best basketball now? I mean, we haven't even reached St. Patrick's Day yet.
Let's see how it looks in April.
After
the Lakers too.
After the calendar turns and we get to April, that's when we're going to start to see who's hell on wheels going into the playoffs and who's a pipsqueak mouse. And quite frankly, nobody's scared of the Warriors. If the Warriors played the Lakers right now, the Lakers would win in 5 games. I'm hesitant to say a sweep. I don't want to be too cocky and say it's a sweep because I respect Steph too much, and that coaching staff, Gerald. But I mean, regardless, if you played the Warriors against any of the top 5 seeds right now, it'd be a 5 or a 6 game series at best. They're just not there, even with Jimmy. Great on them, playing with a lot of momentum. But the Mavs were playing with momentum as well when they traded Luka, and they've hit a wall. So the wall comes for everybody, and it's going to come for the Warriors too.
John, let me bring it back to you. You had to do your update. I wanted to go ahead and make sure everybody knows that for a great, quick update to get that fix, go to Lakers Corner right there with Mr. John Costa. You had the content creators the other day. They said some things that were very interesting in regards to, I got a lot of feedback on that on the chat, some questioning the sanity, I think on 1 or 2 occasions on that. So I'll leave that as it may. I know that they were very vociferous as far as the chat for your channels as well. But again, the one thing that we can agree upon is I understand that they were not hot on the Luka trade. At least one. Was it Lakers? Which one was not hot on the Luka trade?
Yeah,
the
at
gentleman with
first,
the green screen.
yeah,
With the green screen.
yeah. Lakers Prophet. He was not very hot on it at first.
Yeah, he was not high at all on it, which reminds me a lot of about 30 to 40% of our chat at times. And if that's the case, what does Luka need to do outside of winning a championship to prove to individuals such as him that trading AD and Max Christie, who looked terrible in Golden State, looked terrible in the second half today, was the right move the Lakers made in getting Luka Doncic?
Man, I think it's frustrating that we're saying that he has to win a championship to prove it. I mean, his resume alone, before he even stepped a foot in LA, had already proved that this is worth it. I think him being the best player in that trade with AD is proof alone that it's worth it, right? Like right there and then, in my opinion. But to Prophet or anybody out there that maybe doesn't believe in this Luka thing, just give it some time, y'all. And what's good? No Joker. Just give it some time, y'all. Like I'm telling you, man, just give it some time. And you should have already seen it. The man put up a bad game and had a triple double. Imagine when he has a good game. Imagine when he gets into his full on Luka Doncic form, to where it's just like step back going left, step back going right. I'm doing whatever. Rafa, brother.
Did you text your neighbor while you were gone to see if he's good? Raphael was asking.
Brother, I've been hitting him up a couple times. I'm like, where you at, brother? I want to know where you at, because you did a lot of talking.
You did a Lloyd Avenue.
Kind of like Lloyd Avenue. Actually.
Yeah.
Kind of exactly like that. Maybe that's Lloyd. Guys.
Maybe it is. Yeah, you could be right.
But man, look, if you guys aren't sold on this Luka trade yet, just maybe stop being a Lakers fan. That'd be my best advice, I guess, at this point. Because look, we got the best player in the trade. Why would we not be sold for that? Did Luka really say I didn't want to see him, or is this AI?
No,
right?
he was saying that because they were asking, did he look in the crowd? To go ahead and see. Did you see him in the?
There's a picture of him looking into the crowd. It looks as though he's actually looking at Nico.
And his response was, "No, I didn't see him at all. He didn't put on warm-ups, so I didn't really care. So if he's not putting on warm-ups, he wasn't really paying attention to him. So his goal is, he'll tell you that. I'm sure that." Was he looking at Nico? We don't know, but he says he didn't. He was focused solely on the game, which is good, John. But he was ready. He wanted this, and the Lakers, they wanted it for him, and they got it, John. And I'm really happy for him. I'm happy for this team. And going forward, they need to start playing better, keep that defense going strong, and they could do some good things here in the next few days.
Damn right they can, man. And I wasn't here, or I think I was here when that water is wet troll guy was here. Only thing I'll say is exactly what Sean said. Sean, I got
water's wet.
I think that was his name, right? Wasn't that his
Yeah,
name?
Water is Wet was
Water
his
is
name.
Wet
Troll.
was his
Whatever.
name.
The guy's wrong about that because
Yeah, you missed it. It was
wet.
about
But
15 minutes ago, Joe.
but anyway, look. Well, I'll say this, Sean. You said it best, brother. Why in the world are you bragging about winning right now in February? If you're bragging about winning right now in February, that tells me all I need to know, brother. That tells me all I need to know.
Sports Baby wants to know if your mailing address is on Lloyd Avenue.
My mailing address is not on Lloyd Avenue, no, brother. But yeah, guys, that's where I'm at with it. Water is wet. If you're bragging about winning in February, go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead. We hang up championship banners over here. That's what we care about. We don't care about winning much in February. We'll take a win in February. We'll take a win at any time because a win is a win. But y'all know, everybody in this chat, everybody in this stream here knows what's up. We know when it's time to brag, when it's time to win.
Joe, the schedule
Gerald.
doesn't get. Yes.
Gerald, do you want to put that up?
I'll put that up. The Lakers are, according to Jacob Rude on Twitter, the Lakers are now 35-21, 14 games over 500. The last time they were that far above 500 was in 2021 in March when they beat the Hornets to move to 28-13. The next game, Solomon Hill dove into LeBron James' ankle.
We were all there on it was a playback, Joe, but
Playback wasn't there yet.
I remember we were watching the game and we all dreaded Solomon Hill.
Yes.
Wherever you were,
Might have cost LeBron an MVP.
Yeah.
Solomon Hill. Fuck you, Solomon Hill.
He looked like a homeless guy that lived in a dumpster too.
Joe, let me bring it back to you. They are home games, Joe, but the next 5, 4 of them are against teams that are also playoff bound, like Minnesota. 2 games. It's funny, both games are against the Clippers here in the Crypt. They got back-to-back. It's not back-to-back, but it's February 28th and then March the 2nd against the Clippers. Then a New Orleans, and then a New York before they go on the road against Boston to start an East Coast trip. Your thoughts on how they should finish the homestand? Again, the tricky one is the Clippers packed in the middle for 2 times, in my opinion.
My hope is 4 out of the 5. If they can win 4 out of 5, it's a good trip. And then if they lose 2, if they go 2-2 on the road, it would be understandable. They're going to play Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver. Let's just say they beat Boston, they beat Brooklyn, and if they lose against Milwaukee and Denver, I certainly hope that they can beat Denver again in Denver. But that's always a hard one. 2 in the same year in the regular season. And then when they get back, they're going to have another homestand where their schedule might be a little bit easier, sort of. They'll be playing Phoenix, San Antonio, but then they play Denver and Milwaukee again, and then they play Chicago. So if they could go 4-1 there, that would be a good one as well. It's going to be a tight schedule regardless of whether they're in and out of home, in and out of the road, or if they're playing extensive games on the road or extensive games at home. The Lakers right now, looking at their schedule, and looking at their record, I can see them. Let's look at their current record right now, and it might.
Can I put it on the screen for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So right now they're 56 games in. That means there's 16 games left. No, not 16 games. Is it 6? No, they have
26.
I'm sorry, 26 games. Jeez. 26 games. Can they go 15-11 the rest of the way?
Yes.
Right, Sean?
Yes.
That's not asking too much, right?
No.
Matter of fact, I think if they go 15-11, that might actually not be good. They might need to go 17-9 for it to be okay. And win 52 games, and I have no doubt 52 games gets them at least a 4th seed. Anything better than that, then you're talking that's a game changer. If they can get the 3, they just need to get the 3 in my book, and they could get the drawing that we need in the playoffs to avoid Denver, at least one of the teams, Denver or Oklahoma City, in their path. That's going to be kind of what I'm looking at here. And if the Lakers had a more equipped front court, meaning if they had a center that was a legitimate starting center, then I probably wouldn't worry too much, especially if Luka's playing Luka ball by then. But the Lakers are going to have to probably draw a certain seed here that kind of helps them without them having a choice if they're to make a run.
I noticed towards the end of the season, Joe, they've got 2 at straight up back.
Right.
Well, again, It's not the same day, 2 days, but not back to back. But they are 2 games in a row in OKC. What do you think about that?
If you can split it, that'd be great. And then the problem there is that April 8th game, they're in Oklahoma City, and then they got to go to Dallas the next night. That's going to be a very, very tough. That's going to be a very, very tough week.
And you really want to be careful with Luka's calf. If he needs a maintenance day here or there, give it to him.
You better give it to him,
because with the way he plays, his change of pace, his different directional movement, Gerald, he could turn from north to south to east to west on a dime. That takes a lot of energy to decelerate and accelerate, and your calf muscle is very important.
Yeah, agree. We'll see, though, again, how it looks. But right now, it is, of course, the Lakers winning 107-99. They're 35-21, 4th place in the Western Conference. John, what have you got planned for your great channels during the interim so people can check that out?
Yes.
Before we head on out.
Come check me out, you guys. I have a Lakers page. It's called Lakers Corner. I do 2-minute game recaps after every game. If you guys are too busy and couldn't watch the game, I give you the whole game story, talk about quarter to quarter breakdown, who was important, why was it important. I dropped that on my shorts tab. Also, I do a more in-depth video about it, 5 to 6 minute video going into the game, maybe a little bit of film breakdown. That's on the video tab. Y'all can check me out on that. That's on YouTube. It's called Lakers Corner. I also got a TikTok page. It's at Lakers Corner 24. Instagram is Lakers_corner. But get at me, man. I appreciate you guys' support. Gerald, Joe, Sean, my guys, as always. Great Lakers win. And wasn't pretty, but a win is a win, man. A win is a win. And we're trucking right along. And just to update you guys, I will be at the Lakers game on Friday when they play the Clippers. Yeah, when they play the Clippers. And then I'm gonna do.
So you're gonna be in LA?
Yes, I am. I'm
and you're gonna go see Joe, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I'm taking an airplane.
When you come in LA?
I'm leaving Thursday, and I'm taking an airplane. I'm getting to my brother's place like later in the day on Thursday because it's only like a 45-minute flight. But I'm gonna be free like Saturday because the Lakers don't play.
Saturday's my birthday.
What the fuck? Okay, Joe, I might have to figure out a way. Look, I'm not driving out there this time because I'm not going with my girl and my daughter, so I don't have my own car. But Joe, I'm gonna figure out a way of transportation. I need to get you a birthday freaking gift
Visit
or something. Oh man, that just made my weekend.
Roll through. We'll figure something out.
John, those two will be in the same county. God help us all.
Yes, but right. Yes, so I'll be in Anaheim from visiting.
What do you mean, God help us all? You're not even here.
And exactly, we're just gonna have a good time.
Just kidding.
But look, long story short, I'm gonna go to the game, and that same thing that I told you guys that I did of like fucking with people at the All-Star. That's what I'm gonna do at the Lakers game. I'm gonna go quiz Lakers fans, guys. I'm gonna see if Lakers fans know their shit. And if they don't know their shit, best believe I'm gonna make them do something embarrassing at the game. And I'll do a video on it.
Thank you, Cloudside, for subscribing. Thank you, Coach, for all the great super chats. Thank you for all the super chats, by the way. Truly appreciate it. Lloyd said we should be sitting down. Where was it? He said we should sit down. I think he said all the players, main players on. I think he included DFS. I think he included, of course, LeBron and Luka. I thought the idea, Sean, was to get Luka in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, resting.
let's sit him down now.
Here you resting?
I'm here. I'm resting. No, you're
That
gonna
was
no. You're gonna tell me something today, tough guy. Okay, I'll tell you something. Go fuck your mother.
What the?
Ping pow.
Yeah,
John,
no,
you got to acclimate to our movie watching culture.
Yes, I do need to get with the movies. I don't watch many movies.
There's no time to rest. Rest is over.
Bing, what are you doing over here? I thought I told you to
And
go.
by the way,
Here's the exact quote. I think they should rest guys, rest Luka, LeBron, Osto, Vandit, and Finney Smith.
No, why don't we just take a vacation? Let them just forfeit the games, take a vacation. They'll also not collect a paycheck that week too. Let's go ahead, do it. Go.
Yeah,
Do it. Go ahead.
These are professional
Guys,
athletes.
these are pros.
Like when you have a supercar, Gerald, when you own one, I don't own one. I've driven a couple. When you own them, you have to take them out and get them up to a temperature that's so high, Gerald, right? So the car's battery works, so the engine runs correctly. Same thing with the pro athlete. We want Luka. I want Luka out there playing if he can, 36, 40 minutes a game. Certainly has the stamina for it. He spent enough time sitting on the bench with a calf injury.
I mean, that's part of the reason why he was traded, because they questioned his conditioning, Magic Man. How do you improve on your conditioning if you're not there out on the court, Magic Man?
That's right. You can't, Gerald. So let's be real here. He's got to play. I'd rather him be playing a lot at this point to build
They're going to do the back-to-backs where they're going to sit him, Magic Man.
Oh, yeah.
Like they did last week.
100%. This really should. In the meantime, though, we got a championship we're going to trying to win, Gerald. Now is not the time to rest. The Lakers didn't decide to rest AD, LeBron, Kuzma, Caruso down the stretch either. Now, I mean, there was a pandemic that hit all of us, and that kind of swung things in another direction. But regardless, they wouldn't have Frank Vogel would not have sat those guys just so they could play. I don't know what games they play on the sidelines. Check out the.
I was going to say, how good is it to be Frank Vogel right now, being on the golf course? Joe, do the Lakers still have one more year left on Frank Vogel's contract?
I thought it was last year.
Last season? Okay. Well,
regardless,
he's
though,
paid.
Still getting paid, still feeling good.
Yep.
He probably got a lot from the Suns too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he get fired from the Suns as well too? So he probably getting paid multiple ways from multiple teams. But no,
and he's enjoying it, John, because as Sean will tell you, how good is Phoenix doing right now with Budenholzer?
They stink, Gerald.
They stink. So man, he's just like this, bro. Can you? It's like being on paternity leave, getting full pay, but not fucking working. That's what it's like.
And not having responsibility for the baby either.
And I remember the Suns. That Suns podcast that you're friends with, Sean. I remember they were so happy about getting Budenholzer and so happy.
Oh yeah, they were so thrilled. We were like,
"Hey, that's a great one, Sean." And not having responsibility for the baby. That's so funny.
Well, tell you what, though, it's great to have everyone here. Thank you again for watching this. The Lakers do win 107-99. We'll be back tomorrow for more great fun and mischief, as only we can do. But before we head on out, Joe, I want you to go ahead, as always, because the fans always want to hear some great thoughts. Dodger thoughts, Lakers thoughts, Luka thoughts, any thoughts from you, Hello Kitty, Joe Sanrio, before we head on out.
Joe Sanrio.
What do you want to know?
reflection on the day. You can talk about Dodgers, Lakers, Luka.
Yeah, my schedule's getting weird with the spring training. I'm trying to connect with Empire Jeff, but he might have to go next week. And we wanted to do a show out there together.
Because I know people were asking about it.
I was supposed to go this week, but now if John's coming Saturday, John takes precedent. I'm sorry, folks. Might have to wait.
Just can you let Juan Velasquez know, or let me know?
Juan, I think knows. He should know, anyways. I'm hitting you guys all up as soon as I'm over there. We're going to be doing a show, so as soon as I get out there, it's looking like right now. It's looking like for sure next week. I haven't made 100% decision on that, but it's looking like it's going to definitely be next week because I want to make sure we do a show out there, and I want to make sure EJ's there. It just sucks because I might be missing Aaron, and I wanted to see him as well. But we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. As far as
you may have to go to Arizona with Joe.
As far as what's coming, I'm ready for the regular season. I've watched every spring training game, and while it's nice seeing some of the minor league guys playing big boy baseball, my God, the gap. I had preached on this show about the gap between basketball players in the NBA and how big that gap is. I think baseball might be bigger. My God, the difference between
are the Mariners a good team? The Mariners a good team because
apparently they've been great the last 4 games. They've scored 11 runs in each of their games. Yeah, however, they're probably not. I mean, they could be something this year, but it's unknown. We'd have to see how they kind of put some things together. They have some money that they can spend, but they don't really. They remind me a lot of Toronto. They're like the Pacific Northwest Toronto Blue Jays. They have the money and they have talent, but they don't really consistently win enough to have those resources.
Vlad's not going to be a Dodger?
Who?
Vlad? It's not going to be a Dodger? Because you said last week you don't think.
I don't think so, because I think Vlad's going to probably get anywhere between $300 and $500 mil.
Okay.
I don't think the Dodgers are going to pay that much for Vlad. I think they're good enough third baseman because Max Muncy's going to be going into his last year here, and I think that it might be his last year in LA. I think the Dodgers are going to go find a third baseman, but I don't think they're going to want to spend $400 to $500 million for that. And I don't even know if he might want a DH. See, with Ohtani and with Ohtani playing with the Dodgers, you can't get guys that will eventually DH because then that'll be a conflict down the road. If you're going to get a player, probably need to get a player that you know is going to play that position for a while. This is just my guess. I guess the Dodgers could decide that they want a $500 million payoff for all we know. But I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up making sure that they get a serviceable third baseman, someone that might be another Japanese guy. I forgot his name, but he'll be available next year in terms of being a guy that wants to come play in the majors.
Natalia wants to know what are the 3 best teams right now. I guess
in baseball.
She wants to, she wants to show off in front of her friend. She wants to give her friend the scoop.
I would say
good for you, Natalia.
The first 3 teams that kind of hit me is the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Braves. Those are the first 3. And then you still have the Yankees. You probably have Boston in the AL. Detroit could make a run again, although low payroll usually means not enough. We'll have to wait to see how that develops. I am still crossing my fingers that somehow, because the AL is kind of still weak, I'm crossing my fingers somehow that Houston can get to the World Series so the Dodgers can fuck them up. I fucking hate that team so much. I've never hated a team more than that team. And all their players, every single one of them, even the one that aren't playing for the team anymore. Bregman, Gurriel, Springer, all those motherfuckers should get beat with a stick. Cheating pieces of shit.
Beat with the stick is a tough one.
Diamondbacks should be good. They should be good. They'll be competitive. But there's something, I don't know. There's something there with them where when things mattered last year, they kind of folded. And I know they got Corbin Burns, but I don't know if that's enough. Aaron, I wouldn't mind Boston either. If Boston found its way over there, they need an ass kicking too. But it's easier, I guess, to let Boston off the hook because they gave us the stupid asses gave us Mookie Betts, so maybe they're a little bit more forgivable.
Thank you, Red Sox. Thank you, Nico. And there you go. But once again, the game is the Lakers winning 107-99. We'll be back tomorrow for more fun and hijinks, maybe more Hello Kitty. Who knows? But thank you for all the super chats. Thank you to the mods. Sean, you kicked ass once again on playback. And a big shout out to everybody. I think we had more on stage. I know that what Zach was asking if we had that many on stage ever. I think we had 10 at one time on stage. And I think that is our high. So Joe doing his Jim Carrey and the mask impersonation right there for you. They like me. They really like me. Yes. There you go. All right. But catch more hijinks with us tomorrow. And then, of course, Thursday, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Sean is the master of ceremonies and does a great job at doing so. Sean, any last words before we head on out?
No.
All right. And on that tone, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Thank you again. Please like and subscribe on your way out. We did get new subscribers. Always
Joe's
greatly
got the Bobby
appreciated.
D. Joe's rocking the Bobby D.
Yes, he is. I'm going to try and answer the comments from the past couple days here in a few moments. I'll try to address that as fast as I can. Please be patient. Kind of busy doing all the stuff here, but we will try to go ahead and knock all the stuff out in time for our show tomorrow, where I'm sure we'll talk about Luka, talk about Lakers, we'll talk about the Lakers in Minnesota, and we'll have a good time doing so as only we can right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Jay White, that's a good question. I'll answer that on the next show. Remember that question.